Oh, yeah.
You weren't even gonna notice. You'd be like, it's the same color.
I think I'm colorblind to stuff like that, really. Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't be the same if you put it on your head, though.
True. Good point.
Um, Welcome back to the Double L show, and this one's like a special episode. And I kind of went back and I was like, I feel like I should do this as well. So today is about FND, which is what I have, and it is horrible. But like at the moment, I would say I'm kind of in remission, which is pretty decent. It does this for like 3 months and then it'll come back or whatever. I don't know. It's very unpredictable, to be honest. Yeah, and FND stands for functional neurological disorder, formerly known as conversion disorder. It's a brain network disorder, essentially, meaning that the brain misfires signals, causing a number of symptoms. And like it fluctuates because some days you can have like no symptoms, and then other days you can just not be able to move. It basically can throw anything at you at all. Like there's like I'm in a group chat with people and a lot have it worse than I do. And it's just scary because sometimes it's like, for me, it could be like I had dizzy spells like 2 days ago. And like, luckily, I know how to navigate after like the many years of this. I'm just like tapping around, and then my legs just like decide to not really work. And then I can't see anything. And I'm just like crack on. I managed to avoid the bench though, which is like an achievement essentially. That's
Good.
like yeah, because I normally walk into the bench even when I can't see. Yeah. Like it's just a variety. Like mine, even though I thought it would have started in 2018, it makes more sense that it started in 2014. And it was because like this is the thing, there's so many different causes for like different people. Like I can't even tell you the amount. Like, there's like a whole variety, and there's been loads of polls in the group of like where everyone started. Mine was 2014 because I was grieving really bad. And then my parents announced they were getting a divorce, which is partly my fault because I did say I wish my parents would get a divorce for reasons that I don't want to go into. But it caused a lot of friction and drama and trauma. And it lasted not just that year, it went on like the fallout from it went on for a long time in different aspects, and it changed like relationships within the family. And it was just like I wasn't the same and I knew it. Like as soon as I went back to school the summer, and this was before it was even announced that my parents were going to get divorced, I was just like an absolute mess because when I lost my neighbor, it was just like she was such a good friend. She was a family friend to like my family. We were friends with her family. We spent summers together, had garden parties and barbecues. I learned to backflip. Oh wait, no, could I backflip? I don't know. Front flip on their trampoline. And yeah, when I found out she had cancer, I was like 14 and I didn't really understand what that meant. And nobody told us until years later that it was literally 6 weeks between our diagnosis and our death, which is a very scary thought. And like I remember the day so clearly. It was literally like August 3rd, and my friend was staying over. I couldn't sleep, and I didn't understand why I couldn't sleep because usually I'm like out like a light. And like I woke up in the early hours in the morning if I did fall asleep, and I was just like, this is just weird. Everything just felt really weird. And I just, and that was the day I found out. And I just felt like I couldn't cope. This was like the first major death I'd ever experienced. And it was just so sudden that I couldn't comprehend it. And I didn't understand why I couldn't comprehend it. And today I still can't understand why. but like trying to actually process any of that. It was just like I'd seen it every single day of my life up until that point, and to literally go outside my house and she's not there, it just really hit, and it kept hitting every single time because it was like, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. It just felt like a phantom of like reality. And I'm guessing that's what led to certain events, but I guess maybe I was just seasoned to end up with FND. I mean, I'd already apparently had PTSD before that, which I didn't know until I was 19. Um, but yeah, the two combinations can just like wreak havoc with the brain. And I didn't know that until like last year. There's literally multiple studies that say PTSD can shrink parts of the brain and stop them working properly. And yeah, I kind of, after researching that, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like the whole process, and Lee's been there throughout it. It's like, oh, you're just anxious, you're just autistic, even though I'm pretty sure I've been misdiagnosed autistic. Long story with that one, I'll talk about that another time. But yeah, I knew there was something wrong for ages, and nobody believed us, and they were just like, it's all in your head. And it was horrible, and it just made everything worse because there was some days where my legs just weren't working anymore, and I would be like, I literally couldn't stand at work anymore. I had to sit down for the entire shift because my legs just weren't working. They just felt like, as soon as I was sitting there, and sometimes it happens, like they felt numb, they just felt completely dead, and I couldn't move them. And then obviously like it comes back, but like that's what it does. It just throws things. And like one thing that I noticed when stuff was wrong when I was younger was my legs kept locking. And my friends have been on the phone, and like I'll just be like laughing and laughing. I'd be like, it's locked. And then I'm just like, when it tries to unlock, is like, it makes you want to scream. It's like so much pain. And it's like all these weird sensations that aren't real, but then they're just on the inside. It's like pain, but like no source, essentially. It's just very, very insane. I don't know if I've even got a post of all the symptoms that I had. Like two, it was
There's a
over a
lot of
year.
symptoms what I've looked up. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about it is FND can go misdiagnosed because the symptoms will match other like disorders. And so that's like it happened to you. People would look at the symptoms and just automatically think, oh, it's autism, it's this,
Yeah, I
or
literally,
it's just in your head.
no,
And
how many diagnoses people were saying? First it was anxiety, then it was autism, then someone thought it was bipolar, then someone thought it was BPD. Other people thought it was EUPD, which is the same thing. Some thought it was a dissociative disorder. I mean, dissociation is one of the symptoms because I feel like the most horrible person, because when I dissociate, I don't know. And like, there's times where I've been out with my friends, and ironically, it happens in Newcastle, and I don't know why. I don't understand it. But like I'll be there thinking I'm present, and then later on, I'm like, if someone questions us about like, oh, can you remember when I went, nothing, gone, no proof. It's almost like it didn't exist. These are literally all the symptoms that I get. And this is what it says. It says, what is FND? Just imagine if Lyme and MS had a baby, and its wicked stepsisters were seizure, I can't even say that, fibromyalgia, and Parkinson's. Mine, functional limb weakness. Yep. Blackouts. My blackouts. Honestly, at this point, when my episodes are starting, I would rather be unconscious because it's easier than having to puke for 8 hours. And like 8 hours over the toilet is the most. And then I'm just like in pain because my throat's horrible the next day. And like that started from being when I first went on antidepressants. That's what brought the symptoms up even more. Like I was very delusional and hallucinating all the time near the end of college. I was just absolutely, I can't even describe what I was like. But people were just like, they didn't want to be friends with us anymore. And it was just, I couldn't control anything. Like, I was angry a lot, I was upset all the time, and I just didn't know why. But yeah, it just couldn't control anything and everything, and just the slightest little thing can set it all off and ruin an entire day. It doesn't even have to be anything related to like, you've got your trauma triggers, you've got like sensory triggers. Sometimes you just like, it can be the heat. If I get too hot, if I get too cold. Honestly, it makes sense to us why I can't be out in the heat as much as I used to be able to. Like, I was out for like 8 hours or more. Like, I'd be out the entire day in the summer, like non-stop, and I could handle it. Now I'm just like, oh, dizzy all the time. Like, literally, when I went south to the Cotswolds, I literally spent that entire time indoors because I was that dizzy I couldn't move. But yeah, I didn't know about that then, obviously. Sensory symptoms, that's the next one on the list. See, that can mimic autism though, because of the sensory kind of thing. Like, I've
True, yeah.
never been bothered by noise, concerts, anything like that, ever, until the last year or so. If it's too many flashing lights, it's not very good. And that's why I wear my sunglasses a lot, if you've noticed, which I'm pretty sure people have. I just can't stand certain lights. Fluorescent lights just absolutely mess with us. Tiredness, fatigue all the time. Some days I'm like a motor, but that's like ADHD kind of thing. But like, I just constantly like running, but then some days I just can't move. Um, Poor memory, concentration. I wonder, but then again, I had that before I even was diagnosed with FND. Apart from the poor memory, I used to have the best memory ever. Everyone could ask us stuff, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's from this." Yeah, like my auntie who's turning 100 next month. She has the best memory ever. I used to be like
Glenn.
that, and now I'm jealous that she's got memories that I can't even. Yeah, dissociation, lovely, love, love that. But that's what I'm kind of like. I think some of my episodes will be like dissociative seizures, technically, because I literally shake so badly and it doesn't stop. And then usually I black out after like a certain amount because it just like it suddenly stops and then I'm just like gone. So I'm
But
assuming that.
Parkinson's is one of the disorders that normally gets misdiagnosed with FND,
Yeah,
from what
you
I've
can
been
understand
researching.
why. But I've always had shakes. I've had shakes since I was, I think, maybe 7, 8. Somewhere around there. But then, yeah, certain things happened around that age, which I'd never want to go into because I don't like to bring up certain things. But yeah, like my shakes aren't too bad today. They're like average. That hand, that my right hand's always more shaky. But my legs started shaking after a certain point, and I noticed that. Like, obviously, I used to do loads of dance, gymnastics. I had the best balance in my year at school because we done this thing where everyone had to stand on this ball and they would measure who could stay on it the longest. And they just had to give up on us because mine was just like on point. And they
You
were
were
like,
literally
how
just
come you get to
standing
do
still.
that? Yeah, I was literally just like, and they were like, how come she could do it? Because I was like, I done cheerleading. Like, yeah. Even my balance when I went back to cheer was absolutely horrendous. And I couldn't even do stuff. Like if I try and move my leg now, it's just like it's just shaking. It's just yeah. It's just constantly. I feel like it's sometimes my right side that's now worse than but that's what it can do. It can sometimes be just all your left side or sometimes it can be right. I mean, look at last week when I was saying I woke up and my right leg was absolutely dead. And like I could barely move it and it was just in pain the entire time. By the end of that day, it went into my arm and then it went into my neck. And then I had a tension headache for 3 days. And like I despise tension headaches because I don't just feel it in my head, I feel it everywhere. And like I've probably had them for like a few years, but I didn't know what it was. I just ignore stuff half the time. Just like, oh, it's not a big deal, but then if it becomes noticeable, you know. Other stuff. What does that even mean? Oh, another night of suffering, hallucinations, delusion, shaking, agitation, throwing up, blackout. 29th of October. Yeah.
Well,
Even
sounds like a rough night.
therapy, I literally went to therapy and like that exact night blacked out. And I'm just like, life. Even therapy can't help. But there's literally no cure. There's nothing. There's nothing you can do unless it's like certain symptoms. Then otherwise you just have to put up and shut up. Yeah. It kind of sucks. People are like, antidepressants work, and I'm like, I've tried like loads of antidepressants. Yeah. Horrible stuff. Honestly, the hallucinations though. Like I feel like when people tell us them back, I'm like, that is actually so funny. Like I've read some of the notes because I used to ring the crisis team because I didn't know what it was at that point. And apparently I was saying that I saw giant frogs. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, people have been on the phone to us during this, and apparently I just mumble the most crazy stuff that makes no sense. And I feel like someone should record us when I'm like on a call because I'll just be like, all this random stuff. One of them was cameras watching us and all that, and then there was someone standing in my room, and then someone was trying to lure us out the door. Like, then there was the demons. Yeah.
God
Sometimes
damn.
voices. The voices have gone after a long time, but I think it's because I was just feeling really low at that point as well, so I don't think it exactly helped. Yeah, but yeah, voices being like, get that knife and stab yourself kind of thing. Literally putting it in my head that I should kill myself and trying to give us ways of doing it, but at the same time, this is the thing. All my episodes happen on a night, and if through the night, apparently the logical part of your brain actually switches off, hence why you dream. So like that's where dreams come from because the logical part of the brain is off.
Oh,
So that's why you
I
can wake
didn't
up
know
and you
that.
can get like hallucinations and delusions and stuff. That's why it happens during the night sometimes. Which mine, I swear places exist, but they don't. And it just annoys us because I'm like, I swear I've been to this place, and they're like, it doesn't exist. We've never been there. I'm like, how come I can describe it to a T? And like all these like random accounts, like my delusions, like I was talking to an Instagram account, or I thought I was, called Hummingbird, which was a production company. And like they were literally being rude, saying that I wasn't trying hard enough and stuff like that. And then the next morning, I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm looking, thinking, does this exist? And it doesn't exist. Other accounts don't exist that I somehow managed to create in my head. It's really, really weird. All the other symptoms, I forgot about them. Low mood. It depends on the timing, though. Honestly, the worst timing is when I was hormonal. Like it literally went to have no episodes because I dealt with some of my triggers. And then as soon as hormones came into play, it was literal chaos. Then like I would just be in pain the entire time to the point I couldn't move. Like I was just lying there on my bathroom floor. I couldn't even like my grandma had to practically pull us up because I couldn't move. It was
Blooming
literally that
hell.
the amount of pain someone literally could have been kicking us over and over because
Oh,
like you don't just like the way it's working is like I don't just feel the pain in one place, it just completely shuts everything down. And yeah, that was not very nice. And luckily I went on the pill, so I although sometimes I might have like say forgot to take it for 3 days this month, but like since I've been on the pill, I've had no episodes around that time, so win-win, and I've had no pain. Win-win. Although I can't really say much for the niggling of here and there, which is my fault anyway, because I can't remember to take things. That's the worst thing. The memory's not there to remember us to take anything. Visual symptoms. Yeah, pretty much. Do you know what's really annoying when I look back at the history? Where people are like, oh, why are you shaking? There's no need to be nervous. And I'm just like, oh, like that really annoys me.
yeah.
It really like,
People trying to think they know what's wrong and be like, oh, give you this advice. And you're like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Please shut it.
yeah. Next one. Tremors. How
Ooh.
ironic. Yeah. See, I don't know what dystonia is exactly, but I think that's to do with walking, if I'm not wrong. I mean, mine doesn't work if I'm dizzy, which is
Functional
not good.
dystonia is a type of muscle spasm. It causes part of the body to become stuck in an unusual position. This can happen for a short or long period of time.
Oh, that'd be like what my legs do.
Yeah, that's one of my notes of that.
Thank God for someone. See, I don't even know all the terminology because I only like I don't really research into everything, to be honest. Over worry and panic, yeah, about things that don't exist usually. Yeah. There's just so many word finding difficulty. I still have not found a word of 3 years ago that I still can't. I can't find it. It was there and I was using it a lot, and then it's gone, and I can't
That
find
is
it.
that is odd to do though.
I think it began with a C, and I still can't find it. I googled everything. I googled like similar words, still can't find the word. It's gone. Or sometimes my brain will replace other things that I was trying to get out with other words, and then I look like an idiot. I went to say 2023 once, and it said 2013 instead. And I was just like, thanks. Like it just sometimes like replaces other words with other things, and I'm just like, oh,
Wow.
why'd you have to embarrass us like that? Yeah, drop attacks. I had drop attacks twice. Once at the back of Pension Monument, and like it happens like, and I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware until I looked up, and I'm like, whoa, why am I on the ground? You know? And I think it happened in PE once, but my legs were absolutely crap then. I literally had to drop out of PE because I couldn't do anything.
You got it. You were able to drop out of PE.
Oh yeah, I dropped out of PE in year 10, and they were like, I
Lucky.
literally got a visit from like the deputy head, and she was like, you know, if you drop out of PE, you'll not be able to go back. I was like, it's fine. So I
I got
replaced it to
detention
do
because I had
revision.
asthma. Didn't screw my
But
skull,
mine
man.
had like
God
a
damn.
special room, so that's where I was always at. So
Okay.
yeah, health anxiety, not as much as I did, because at least I got my answers. Jerks and twitches. I hate when my eye twitches. It was twitching earlier, and I was like, no, you don't. I'm like, you're not doing it. I'm like, I am not. It happens loads on Saturdays for some reason. But like it usually, I feel like it just plays the like the card because my mum isn't in, so it's like I have to be alone all that entire time. So it purposely will like start because then it's like, ha, you help us now, bitch. I feel like that's its attitude. It's like, oh, so you know how you had a really good time? Yeah, not anymore. Here you go. Literally, I can be the happiest. How many episodes I have literally had over being happy? People think I'm joking, and like
So
I
was like
hadn't,
being happy a trigger for it? Would you say?
yeah, overwhelming emotions. If you get really happy and if you get really excited, it's same if it's the other way. If you get really negative emotion, like after the Sasha interview episode, the entire night, Cindy's Zoom the second time, that one, all that night. I don't think I had one when I interviewed Katie, even though what wasn't in the interview was me bringing up certain things that are triggers. I think I was fine. But like there's a photo on my phone and I found it earlier from the time I was at Beamish where I got too cold and it was like, nah. It's weird because I remember it so well. I was drenched, but I went like icy cold all the way through us. Then I went really warm. And then I'm like, why do I feel like I'm gonna puke? I'm like, this is not good. And then I'm like, oh, the ringing, that's like the key sign. I can hear ringing, and then I'm like, and then stuff starts to darken, and I'm like, oh no. And then my head feels weird. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then my legs just went, nah. But at least people didn't let us smack the cold concrete pavement, even though
Okay,
it's absolutely
that is good at
embarrassing.
least.
My legs just couldn't work afterwards.
Good.
Like I practically had to be dragged back to the car because they just weren't working.
Yeah, I do remember you like seeing. I think it was the next day that
I
it
was
was
so
horrible. It
I
was
was so embarrassed. And my mom's like, why are you embarrassed? I'm like, because I am. Like, wow, it's just like weakness, I guess.
but like at the end of the day, it's not your fault that
I
this is
know it's
happening.
I know it's not exactly my fault, but it's just like, ugh. Like
Like it's
it
frustrating, yeah, that it happens.
I feel
Yeah.
like it became very clear and very apparent what I've actually been going through to others. Because it's not like anybody ever really saw. My grandma saw some of it when I was absolutely delusional, which I actually wrote into We Are Gold, about random water wheels at Metro Centre, which I absolutely love that water wheel. And if the day I touch it, I will absolutely wreak havoc.
Oh, I was so tempted to jump in when I was
I
there.
know I would jump in as well. I keep having dreams that it works again, and it's not fair because I need to fix it. But yeah, I was just randomly going on about water wheels and just like this is literally how like I recorded it because I'm doing a short film about FND, and literally my eyes just go like, or they'll just like, and I'll just like zone out, or I'll just be like this for ages, just like completely frozen. And then like I'll just be mumbling and I'll just say, oh, it's the best thing ever. Or just like I'll be talking nothing. I'll just be talking like totally like I'm drunk. And I don't drink because I can't drink anymore because that's one thing that it hates. But I've literally got a photo of my eyes after stuff happened, and my
Yeah,
pupils are like fully
they're
black.
black.
Like they
Wow.
are so big. And like I just look at them and I'm like, oh, Daddy. Yeah. They were fine beforehand. But I can't stand for long periods of time, so I'm guessing that was also part of it. Because I had to stand for like 20 minutes because there was no buses in the pouring rain.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, well, it was not very nice. And there was nowhere to sit as well, so it was not fun. But yeah, I feel lucky that I haven't really had anything in over a month. The last time was when I went for the MRI the night before. That
I
was not
mean,
pleasant.
yeah, an MRI, I can understand why that would trigger anyone, especially someone with FND.
I literally like I just remember lying there like through it and being like, my eyes were just constantly fluttering, and I was like, is it me? Is that happening to me? But then I felt my leg kick out, and I don't know if it was the machine or it was me. I
I
have no
don't think it would have
answers
been the
for it.
machine. I think it would have
Yeah,
been
but the
you.
machine felt like it was moving, so I don't know if it was. It felt like
I
it
know eyes
slid
don't move, do they?
forward, but I don't know.
Huh. I
I
know
have no
CTs
answer.
can move, but not sure about MRIs.
Yeah, it like jumped forward unless I was absolutely losing my mind.
I mean, under the conditions an MRI takes place, like I can understand if reality wasn't all there for you.
Yeah, yeah, it was just like I just pretend to just that it didn't happen. And it's not fair because I still want the picture of it and nobody's going to give us
Have
it.
you not got the picture yet?
They won't give us it.
Why?
I literally rang and they were like, oh, you're going to have to ask where you got the MRI. So ask them. They're like, we don't have a copy. We'll send it straight to like the department. They're like, oh, I don't even know why they would send you here. And then, but the one who like answered the phone at neurology, she just seemed very moody. So I was like, maybe it was just a bad day. Yeah, so I still haven't got it, but if I might go through disclosures, but then that takes so long. That's what I do for the rest of my medical records, which I'm
Oh,
lucky I have because that got us the Nimbus card, the card, the access card, so
oh yeah,
get
cool.
events and stuff. You don't get anything free essentially unless you like someone has to come with us, which they do. But yeah. It's just so I can actually have my freedom back. Like, honestly, the amount of times I have lost loads of money because I couldn't go to things because of like, oh, this reason, or blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot easier going forward. I don't know. I just hope it'll leave us alone. I just hope. Like, I don't mind a few leg shakes here and there. But yeah, I mean, I've been on Lion's Mane for like maybe 2 weeks or over 2 weeks. Yeah, and it's been pretty decent. Usually I react bad to any medication apart from like propranolol and CBD, CBG. But yeah, that's the only thing that I'm like, wait, does this actually work? Yeah,
And it's
very
helping with
fun.
the symptoms.
Yeah, I haven't really had anything. I've mostly been more me, although I've been a bit moody this week, but fair
Yeah.
enough.
As
Yeah.
long as it's doing its job and helping you, that's
Yeah.
big win in your life.
I'm just looking at it because I'm like, did I take the day?
Have you?
I don't know.
That's the worst thing, like, if you don't know about the medication, because if you take another one, you don't want to take too much because you don't know the effects it's going to have.
But I don't know if it was yesterday or it was today. I don't know. I don't remember. Like, that's my days.
I mean, yeah, that is.
Did I take it before bed? I don't know.
Goddamn.
Yeah,
But
I'm just
yeah,
looking because I drank it with that drink, but that drink's been there like a day.
okay.
It's been there since yesterday because I was drinking it last night as well. So I don't know.
Hmm. There's a chance you could have, but also there's a chance you haven't. So,
Yeah, I'm literally
ugh.
gonna have to write it somewhere.
I mean, you've literally got like a calendar there, haven't you? Just
Yeah.
off, yeah. So I think like maybe write take whatever, and then when you do, like circle it or something, or scratch it
Yeah,
off so you can look at it and be like, oh yeah, I've taken it.
I should probably do that to be fair. I'm probably nervous for Thursday because I'm literally going for my ADHD referral.
Ooh,
Yeah. I hope the referrers. I mean,
good luck for that.
it's a bit obvious that I fit the criteria. Everyone can see it for some reason, even my grandparents, but they just thought that was me being a kid. Yeah. They're like, you always start things, but you never finish them. And then you go on to the next thing. Yeah, all the time. Hence why my thing's still sitting there, my bodysuit, that I really want to do it, but I haven't got any motivation to actually do it. But then, like, one day I'll just sit there and I'll do it all. Life.
Yeah. As a kid, I was called a 3 month wonder because anything I got into would only last 3 months before I moved on to something else.
I'm always moving on from things. I don't even know what phase I'm in right now. I don't have a clue of anything.
You know what? I just don't have anything that I'm hobbies that I've got because like it used to be like the cards, but then I went away, and now at the moment I'm just like, yeah, just nothing.
DVDs right behind you.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
would.
yeah.
Yeah, that's my main one. Yeah, there's crystals on top of that one as well.
Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah,
I don't even know what I'm obsessed with anymore. Like, I just don't feel very obsessed right now. Like, I always go and think, oh, this, and then I'm just like, not anymore.
yeah. What
I'm
like
just,
got me was trying to find out because it said for the estimate of how many people have FND, it said for every 4 to 12 people out of every 100,000 will have FND. So this math could be completely wrong, but I've worked it out that there's an estimated 320,000 people in the world with FND for if it's going by that judgment of between every 100,000.
I know
And
one, that's
yeah,
it, I think. Potentially two, because someone recognized the symptoms that I was posting about and stuff. So,
it,
they were
it
like,
makes it seem
wait,
like it's
yeah.
really rare because you think there's 8 billion people estimated in the world, and 320,000 out of 8 billion have FND. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they still don't really know much about it.
Now they're doing research right now, but there's like, because it's, well, they basically thought that it was like psychogenic originally, which is like, I don't know how to describe psychogenic, but like they've basically found that white matter in the brain is changed, and basically wherever the change is in the white matter, that depends what symptoms you get. But it
Oh,
can only be picked up on an fMRI, and I only had an MRI, so it's not going to pick up that. But if they
I've
did
never
an
heard of an
fMRI,
fMRI.
it's like the dye, so they can
Oh,
tell what
where
the
they
brain
like
structure
inject
is
you
in.
and then the
No, like it's a specific MRI though, like that's the thing. It's a specific machine.
that's not the one that goes through your neck to put the dye into your brain, is it?
I don't know. I've never really looked at it, to be honest, but I've seen loads of like fMRIs, and they can literally see everything. They can literally
Oh,
tell diagnosis from that, because everyone's structures differently, especially if you're neurodiverse. They can see the
yeah.
differences in the colors.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, that was a big breakthrough, but even the best neurologists in the world still have no clue. I mean, I don't know where was I think I was reading a study from the Mayo Clinic, and they literally were saying that they don't know. Like they're like, we still don't know where it come from. But
Yeah,
like even any research, any like positive result is good. Like at least
yeah.
trying to move forward. But yeah, I'm just stuck waiting on neuropsychology. It's been like since October and I've never heard anything. And I'm tempted to ring up, but at the same time, I'm just also like, what's the point? You're going to tell us I've got 3 years to wait or something.
The waiting lists are ridiculous, just for
Yeah.
anything. And from the news, apparently, all the waiting lists for stuff like that is just going to keep on increasing because there's a lack of it. In like, I did find a good way to. It says on what's this the NHS website on how to describe it. It's like it's often helpful to think of your brain as a computer. In someone who has FND, there's no damage to the hardware or the structure of the brain. It's the software or program running on the computer that isn't working properly. So it's like it's often to do with like the brain physically. It's what's happening inside the brain.
Yeah, that's out of date now because of the study, essentially.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
goddamn NHS.
They're not going to keep up with it. Half of them are just like, I've never heard of that, so whatever. Yeah.
It's ridiculous that like they're not keeping up with like the research that's happening
They
because
don't
you'd think
care. That's the
it
thing.
would. Yeah, I guess
NHS is
it's
just a
ridiculous.
mess. They don't care about anything half the
I
time.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
NHS since like 2015, in my view, has been going downhill.
Mm. But yeah, it's best not to get into that because it's a
That's
very,
a
very
completely
long
different
topic.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah. We've
but
got 1 minute left.
1 minute left. So any final thoughts you have on FND? So when you finally got this diagnosis after so many misdiagnoses, how did you feel?
To be honest, I kind of so I'd watched like on TikTok and like obviously you get like a variety of different things. And like I used to get Nicole, who also has FND, and like mum was raising awareness, and I was like, that kind of sounds like me. But like then I looked into it a bit and I was like, that does sound like me. But then like I just went into an open mind, like when I went in to get diagnosis. So yeah, and apparently it just matched up. I mean, I
Well,
did
at
keep a
least,
massive symptom diary, so
yeah, well, at least you got the diagnosis and you finally know what it is.